Hello guys, welcome back. Myself, Assistant Professor Gaurang Prajapati from Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. I was covering the video of design of gantry girders in the previous video. I am continuing the same topic of the subject design of steel structure 8th semester civil engineering. In the previous video, I was designing the gantry girder carrying the manual crane girder, and we have covered the 7 step in the first video, 6 steps in the first video. Now in this one I am continuing the step number 7. Okay, so let's start with the step number 7. So step number 7, that stands for check for the moment capacity. Now before the checking the moment capacity of the flange, so first of all let's decide the section classification criteria for the gantry girder, the dimension which we have designed for that one. So first of all, for flange and for wave we need to cross check the condition as per the table number 2, page number 19. So let's go back to the code for that one. So table number 2, page number 19. So for that one, now over here we are going to check this condition for the outstanding element of the compression flange for the welded section, means for the built up section. B by TF, if it is less than 8.4 then it will be the plastic section, and if it is between 8.4 to 9.4 then it will be the compact section. And for the web it is, we can say, D by TW neutral axis at mid depth, that should be D by TW ratio. If it is less than 8.4 then it will be plastic, and if it is less than 105 it will be the compact section. Okay, so let's calculate this one. So for that one, just a minute. Now, so first of all, B by TF. Now B stands for BF by 2. BF is 450 by 2. So our answer will be, we can say, 225. Okay, so B, that is 225. TF is 25. So answer is 9, which is less than 9.4. It is in the range of 8.4 to 9.4. So it is a compact section. Okay, so our flange is, we can say, compact. Now talking about wave, D by TW, we have already calculated this ratio was 50. Okay, which is less than 84 epsilon. Hence it is a plastic section. So the flange is compact and the wave is plastic, so entire section is, we can say, compact section. If both are plastic then we can say the entire section is plastic section, but right now flange is compact and wave is plastic, so we can say the overall section is compact section. Okay, so now we need to check the local moment capacity, and for that one the formula is this one: mz divided by mdz plus my divided by mdy should be less or equals to 1. Talking about the unknown parameters mz and my. So for that one, mz, that stands for maximum bending moment, we have already calculated in step number 2, 762.6 kilonewton into meter. And my, that is, we can say, maximum bending moment due to surge load, that also we have calculated in step number 3, 13.1. Let me show you this mz and my. See, mz was in step number 2, this one, 762.6 kilonewton into meter, while my, that is, just a minute, my, that is over here, fractal moment due to surge load, that is 13.1. Okay, so let's use this data. See, mz and my. So now unknown parameters is mdz and mdy. Okay, now for mdz, so first of all mdz stands for moment with respect to zz axis. Okay, so we need to calculate moment with respect to zz. Now for that one we will calculate two moment, mdz1 and mdz2, and we will take the smaller of those one. Okay, now for mdz1 and mdz2 we need to go to the code on page number 53, clause number 8.2.1.2. so for that one we will go to the code. Just a minute, I have choose the wrong one. Page number 52. Sorry, 53. Now we are on the page number 53. Sorry, the clause is over here, 8.2.1.2. and for that one, design bending state, the formula stands for this one: md equals to beta b zp fi by gamma m0. That's the formula of MDZ1. Now for MDZ2, over here they have given the criteria for that one. To avoid the irreversible deformation under the serviceability load, MD shall be less than 1.2 ZeFy by gamma m0 for simply supported, and 1.5 ZeFy by gamma m0 in case of the cantilever. Our gantry girder is of simply supported. Okay, so for the simply supported, we can take this one as a MDZ2. Okay, and this one is of MDZ1. So now we have got the formula MDZ1 and MDZ2, and meanwhile for MDY I will use the same formula MDY1, that is this one, and MDY2 for this one. Okay, so let's go back to the design. So for that one, MDZ1 formula stands for this one, beta b ZPFI by gamma m0, and MDZ2 1.2 ZeFi by gamma m0. Both formulas are as per this clause. So now talking about the unknown parameters. Now you can see in this formula beta b, that is always 1 for plastic and compact section. Okay, as per this clause once again. Fi, that is always 250, and gamma m0 1.10. Now talking about in this formula unknown 1.2 constant, F5 that is 250 Newton by mm square for steel, and gamma m0 that is 1.10. Now so unknown parameter is in this formula Zp, and in this formula Ze. Okay, now as we are going to design moment with respect to ZZ axis. Okay, so ultimately Zp and Zd both are unknown parameters. Now we have values of Zpz as well as Zpy. Similarly Zdz and Zy. Okay, so what we will take, as we are calculating with respect to ZZ axis, so we will take Zp equals to Zpz and Zd equals to Zdz. Okay, so we can see over here in this formula unknown is Zp equals to Zpz, and in this formula Zd equals to Zdz, and we have the values of both the values. Say Zpz, just a minute, over here you can see 11.84 into 10 raised to 6, that's the value of Zpz, and Zdz, that is over here 10.61 into 10 raised to 6 mm raised to cube. Okay, so let's put down this value in this formula, just a minute. So first of all Zp equals to Zpz, that is 11.84 into 10 raised to 6 mm cube. So MDZ1, beta b is value 1, Zp 11.84 into 10 raised to 6, Fi that is 250, and gamma m0 that is 1.10. So ultimately MDZ1 final answer will be 2690.91 into 10 raised to 6 Newton into mm. Let's convert it into kilonewton into meter, that is 2690.91, and it should be greater than, we can say this one 762.6. It is greater than that one, and it's okay, no problem with that one. Similarly we need to calculate MDZ2. Formula is this one. Okay, let's put down the value. Ze equals to Zdz, that is 10.61 into 10 raised to 6 mm cube as per step number 6. So MDZ2, so 1.2 Zd, that is 10.61 into 10 raised to 6, Fi that is 250, and gamma m0 that is 1.10. By simplifying the term I will get the answer MDZ2 2893.64 into 10 raised to 6 Newton into mm. Okay, let's convert it into kilonewton into meter, multiply by 10 raised to minus 6, and it should be greater than mz, that is 762.6. it is greater than that one, hence okay. So finally mz, and that is minimum of these two values, so the smaller value will be obviously this one, 2690.91 kilonewton into meter, which is greater than mz, and it's okay. Okay, so first criteria is satisfied. Now similarly we need to take the same formula for MDY1 and MDY2, and MDY will be smaller of these two. Okay, I will use the same formula for this one. Okay, so you can see over here MDY. First of all, MDY means moment with respect to YY axis. Okay, so again two unknown Zp and Zd is there, but as we are calculating moment with YY axis, so this time we will take Zp equals to Zpy and Zd equals to Zy. That's the basic concept of this one. Hope so you have got this one. Okay, so now for that one let's calculate MDY1, beta b ZpFi by gamma m0. We have already discussed the unknown, beta b that is 1, Fi 250, gamma m0 1.10. In this one 1.2 constant, Fi 250, gamma m0 1.10. So Zp and Zd, as we discussed, Zp equals to, we will take Zpy and Zd equals to Zy. We have calculated this value in step number 6. This one is the value of ZPY, 1.27 into 10 raised to 6 mm cube, and ZEY, that is over here, just a minute, that is this one, 10.61 into 10 raised to 6. Okay, so we have got these two value. Let's put down this value over here. See, beta b 1, ZP, that is ZPY, 1.27 into 10 raised to 6, F5, that is 250, and gamma m0, that is 1.10. By simplifying the term, I will get the answer MDY1, 288.63 into 10 raised to 6 Newton into mm. Okay, so let's convert it into kilonewton into meter, multiply by 10 raised to minus 6. Meanwhile, it should be greater than my, that is 13.1, and it's okay, no problem with that one. Now going for the MDY2, this one. Formula is this one. We have all the values, so let's calculate the value. 1.2 ZE, that is ZEY, 0.84 into 10 raised to 6, Fi 250, and gamma m0 1.10. By simplifying the term, I will get the answer 229.09 into 10 raised to 6 Newton into mm. Let's convert it into kilonewton into meter, multiply by 10 raised to minus 6, and it should be greater than my, so which is 13.1, and it's okay. So finally MDY will be the smaller of this one. Obviously smaller will be 229.09. okay, so MDY, this one is MDY, so 229.09 kilonewton into meter, which is greater than my, and it's okay, problem solved. So let's put down this value over here. MZ 762.6, let me zoom in the data, just a minute. MZ 762.6, MDZ 2690.91, MY 13.1, and MDY, that is 229.09. So ultimately I will get the answer 0.28 plus 0.06. So ultimately answer is 0.34, which is less than 1. Hence, okay, our condition is getting satisfied. So that's step number 7 for us. Right? Now going in the next check, that is step number 8. Check for the buckling resistance. Now check for the buckling resistance, the same formula is there. We can say biaxial bending equals to mz divided by mdz plus my divided by mdy should be less or equals to 1. So for that one, unknown parameters mz and my, we have the values of this one, okay, this one and this one, okay. So ultimately unknown is once again mdz and mdy. Okay, now first of all we will start with the mdy. The formula stands for zy fy by gamma m0. As mdy is moment with respect to y-axis, so zy equals to, taken as we can say zey. Okay, that is this one. So we have already this one in the step number 6, 0.84 into 10 raised to 6. Let's put down this value in this formula. So 1, that is now this one, that is 0.84 into 10 raised to 6, Fy, that is 250, and gamma m0, that is 1.10. By simplifying the term, we will get the answer 190.91 into 10 raised to 6 Newton into mm. Let's convert it into kilonewton into meter. 190.91 kilonewton into meter, which is greater than my, that is 13.1, and it's okay, there is no problem with that one. Next we need to calculate mdz. Now in this one, mdz's formula is this one, as per page number 54. Okay, in the previous design also I have discussed its shortcuts matter. Okay, we will not use the long cut one. Okay, shortcut is there over there, so we will use that one. So first of all, let's talk about the unknown parameters, or beta b, zp, fb. Then beta b, that is 1, zp, as we are calculating mdz, so moment with respect to zz axis, so zp equals to zpz, that is this one, 11.84 into 10 raised to 6 mm cube. Okay, now the unknown parameter is, we can say fbd. So for that one, just a minute, let's go back to the code. Now for fbd, first of all, beta b is formula, md is formula 8.2, formula is this one, beta b zp fbd. Okay, we are on the page number 54. Okay, in order to calculate fbd, okay, over here they have given us the criteria for the fbd, that the fbd stands for design bending compressive stress, obtained as given below, that is see table number 13a and 13b. Okay, so we will go to table number 13a over here. So this is the criteria of fbd, that is bending compressive stress corresponding to lateral buckling, fbd, for alpha lt 0.21, that is table number 13a. Then similarly, just a minute, Similarly, table number 13b is also given to us. We can see over here. Okay, but it is for the alpha LT 0.49, so we have to decide which alpha LT we want to use, and for that one also the data is given on in this clause. Say alpha LT equals to 0.21 for the roll section and 0.49 for the welded section. As welded section is we are designing the built-up section, it is getting connected by the welded section only, so we will use alpha LT equals to 0.49. so for that one we will use this table. Now in this one, Fy, that is we can say 250, we have already value of the Fy, that is still 250 Newton by mm square, and we need the value of FCRB. And now in order to calculate FCRB, we have to go back to the page number 54, and in this clause FCRB formula is given to us 8.2.2.1, this one. So let's calculate this FCRB, and once we will get FCRB, then using the table number 13b we will get the value of, we can say, FVD. Okay, so let's go back to the design. So in order to calculate FCRB, first of all, this one is the formula of FCRB as per the clause. Okay, now the unknown parameters you can see LLT by RY, then HF, TF, these are the unknown parameters. So first of all, let's start the unknown parameters with this one. So first of all, LLT, L stands for the span of gantry girder, that is 8 meter, so that is 8000 mm. Then Ry, that is radius of gyration, root of I by A. Okay, now the unknown parameters area and Iyy, we have calculated both these value in step number 6. Just a minute. Say area, that is 35300, and Iyy, that is 0.38 into 10⁻⁹ mm⁴. Okay, so now just a minute. Okay, so now I 0.38 into 10⁻⁹, area 35300. Let's put down this value over here. So I will get the Ry, 0.38 into 10⁻⁹ divided by 35300 whole raised to 1 by 2. So ultimately answer is 103.75 mm. That's the value of Ry. So once we get the LLT as well as Ry, let's calculate the ratio of LLT by Ry. LLT 8000, Ry 103.75. By doing so, we will get the answer 77.11. Okay, now that's the ratio. Now next unknown is, we can say, HF by TF. Now HF is nothing, we can say center to center distance between the two flange. Okay, so let's go back to the figure. See, now as HF is center to center, see these are our two flanges. Now we need the distance center to center from these two, from here to here. Now in this one, the half depth of the flange will be there, the entire depth of the wave will be there, and again half depth of the flange will be there. Okay, so by doing so, 800, just a minute, see 800 plus this one is half, that is 25 by 2, that is this one, and similarly over here 25 by 2. Okay, so ultimately HF will be, just a minute, now, so HF is this one, TF by 2 plus depth of wave plus TF by 2, 25 by 2 plus 800 plus 25 by 2. So ultimately answer is 825 mm. That's the value of HF. Okay, now TF, already we have thickness of flange 25, so let's calculate the ratio HF by TF. 825 by 25, answer is 33. So now let's calculate this ratio also, LLT by Ry divided by HF by TF. Okay, so 77.11 divided by 33, so ultimately I will get the ratio 2.34. Okay, once we get this ratio, now let's put down all the values in this formula. So just a minute. So FCRB 1.1 pi square E, that is 2 into 10⁵. LLT by Ry, that ratio is 77.11, in the bracket 1 plus 1 by 20, and LLT by Ry divided by HF by TF ratio, that is 2.34 square whole raised to 0.5. By simplifying the term, I will get the FCRB 412.02 Newton by mm square. Once we get the FCRB, now as per table number 13 for just a minute, let me cross check once again how much it was. It was 412.02. Just a minute. Now as per table number 13b, I can get the value of FCRB by doing the interpolation. Our answer is 412.02. Just a minute, let me zoom in the data first of all. Okay, now this one is FCRB, that is 412.02. okay, FY that is 250, and our FCRB 412, that will be between 400 to 450, and these are the values. At 400 it is 150, at 450 it is 156.8. so by doing the interpolation we will get the value, say at the difference of 50 between 450 and 50, our answer is 6.8, 156.8 minus 50. So at 12.02 it is how much? Okay, for example, we will get the value of x, then the value of x will be add into 4000. okay, as value is increasing from 400 to 450, our value is increasing 150 to 156.8. so whatever the answer comes x, that will be added into 150, so we will get ultimately FCRB. okay, so just a minute. So now from the value of FCRB, that is 412.02, and FI 250 for the alpha LT 0.49 for the welded section, by interpolation method we will get the answer 151.63. answer is 1.63, that's the value of x. okay, that is added in 150, so answer is 151.63 as per this table. okay, so we will get the value of FBD. Once we get the value of FBD, finally MDZ, beta B ZP FBD, beta B1 ZP was ZPZ 11.84 into 10 raised to 6, and FBD, that is 151.63. by simplifying the term we will get the answer of 1795.55 into 10 raised to 6 Newton into mm. Let's convert it into kilonewton into meter. It should be greater than mz, that is 762.16, hence okay, no problem with that one. So finally check for the biaxial capacity. mz 762.6, mdz, that is 1795.55, my, that is 13.1, divided by mdy, that is 190.91. so ultimately by doing the ratio we will get the answer, that is we can say 0.49, okay, which is less than 1, hence okay. So these are the two checks which usually ask in the exam. okay, we have satisfied both the terms. Now going back for step number 9, that is check for shear. Now for the shear check, we know that as per the page number 59, the shear criteria is given over here. VD equals to AVFIW divided by root 3 gamma m0. Now the unknown pattern is in this one is AV. Now we know that for the built up section, AV is our shear area, that is the area of the wave, because wave resists the shear force. So ultimately depth of wave 800 and thickness of wave, that is 16. so by simplifying the term I will get the AV 12,800 mm square. Now let's put down this value of AV over here. All the other terms are the constant. AV 12,800, FIW 250, root 3, and gamma m0 1.10. By simplifying the term I will get the answer 1679.56 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. So ultimately I will get the answer of VD 1679.55 kilonewton. okay, so that's the criteria of VD. Now as per the page number 53, as per this clause, we can use the 60% of VD only for the maximum shear force. So let's convert it into 60%. so 0.6 times VD, that is this one. okay, so 0.6 times VD, that is 1679.55. by simplifying the term I will get the answer 1007.74 kilonewton. Now what does this indicate? That the wave, which we have designed of the dimension 800 multiplied by 16 mm, it can resist the maximum shear force of 1700 kilonewton, and it should be greater than the VZ requirement of our, that was calculated by us in step number 3, that was 485.44, which is greater than that one, and it's okay, no problem with that one. So our shears criteria is getting satisfied, so section is safe in the shear. Now next, step number 10, that is check for the local buckling of the web. Now in order to check the local buckling of web, first of all let's go back to the code. Okay, we'll see that code, page number 67, just a minute. Yeah. Now on page number 67, okay, we are on the page number 67 and close number is 8.7.3.1, load carrying stiffener. Okay, for that one they have given the statement over here, buckling strength, that is FCDW, and the formula is given over here, B1 plus N1 whole multiplied by TW, and we need to calculate this one using the curve C. Okay, then B1, that is stiff bearing length, and N1, that is dispersion of load through the 45 degree up to the half of the depth of the section, that is we can say N1 is up to the half the depth of the section, that is D by 2 multiply by 2 times, because dispersion occurs on the both sides. So ultimately N1 equals to D. D stands for the overall depth of the gantry girder. Okay, so let's calculate this one. This FCDW, that is should be greater than the maximum wheel load, or we can say the wheel load which we have calculated in step number 1. Okay, so let's calculate these parameters as per this close FCDW's formula, that is B1 plus N1 whole multiplied by TW into FCD. So ultimately talking about unknown parameters, first of all B1, that is width of stiff bearing length, that is always assume as N1, 150. Then talking about N1, as we discussed, that is we can say overall depth of the gantry girder, that is 850 mm. Okay, and TW, that is we can say thickness of web, that is 16 mm. So now the unknown parameter remaining is only FCD. FCD means design compressive strength. We know that for design compressive strength we always need to calculate the slenderness ratio, that is KL by RY. Okay, formula stands for 2.43 D by TW. In the previous video I have explained this derivation of the KL by RY formula. So the right now formula is 2.43 times D by TW. Now the D, that is depth of web, and TW, thickness of web, we already derived this ratio as a 50. So 2.43 multiplied by 50, so ultimately answer comes 121.5. By doing the interpolation method we will get the easily answer of FCD 121.5. So we need to calculate FCD as per table number 9C, page number 42. Just a minute. Okay, for the buckling class C. Okay, because our built up section stands for the buckling class C, 121.2. okay, so just a minute. Now this one stands for Fy, KL by Ry, that is 121.2 or 5, I don't remember exactly, I think it was 2. Okay, so between 120 to 130 it will range. So Fy, that is for 250. Our answer is this one, 83.7 and 74.3. So by the difference of 10 we will get the value of, we can say 9.4. okay, so we can say for 1.2 it is how much. So ultimately we will get the value of x, and whatever the value of x, that will be minus from the values of 120 from 83.7, because as the slenderness ratio increases, value of FCD decreases. Okay, so by interpolation method, just a minute. So from the KL by that is 121.5. okay, and Fy 250, using the interpolation method as per table number 9C, I will get the FCD, that is 82.29. Once I get the value of FCD, now I can calculate the FCDW. B1 150, N1 that is 850, TW thickness of web 16, and FCDW that is 82.29. So ultimately I will get the answer FCDW 1316.6 10 raised to 3 Newton. Let's convert it into kilonewton. 1316.64 kilonewton, and it should be greater than design wind load, which we have calculated in step number 1, that is 303 kilonewton, which is greater than that. And so okay, we can say buckling resistance is satisfactory. Clear? So this was the check for the local buckling of web. Then just a minute. Okay, now step number 11, that is design of weld. Okay, now for design of weld, we know that the criteria for the welding design. So first of all, we always used to provide the fillet weld. Okay, so we are going to provide the fillet weld for that one. So for that one, what we need to calculate, first of all, horizontal shear force for the weld. This one is our requirement criteria. Formula always stands for this one, QW equals to VFI by divided by twice IZ. Talking about unknown parameters, first of all, V, that stands for maximum shear force, VZ. We have already calculated in step number 3, that is 485.44 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. AF, area of flange, we have flange of dimension 450 by 25. So by doing the multiplication, we will get the area 11,250 mm square. Now the remaining term is Y bar. Y bar is, that is, we can say CG of flange with respect to central axis, and IZ, that is moment of inertia with respect to x-axis. We have already calculated this one in step number 6, IZ. Okay, so let's calculate Y bar. First of all, you can see the IZ over here in step number 6. Just a minute. Yeah, IZ, that is over here. So in step number 6, 4.51 into 10 is to 9. And talking about ZZ, then it will be from the center of flange to this dimension. So ultimately this one will be TF by 2 and this will be D by 2. TF by 2, that means 25 by 2, and D by 2, that is 800 by 2. So 412.5. So it will be 412.5. Okay. So see, that is 412.5, and IZ, that is as per step number 6. So now we have all the values, so let's put down this value in this formula. So ultimately V, that is 485.44 into 10 raised to 3, let's convert it into Newton. Area of flange 11,250. Y bar, that is 412.5 divided by twice IZ, that is 2 times 4.51 into 10 raised to 9. By simplifying the term, I will get the answer 249.75 Newton per mm. Let's convert it into kilonewton per mm. So that's our requirement criteria. Means if we want to connect the wave with the flange, then we will need to provide at least this much weld criteria. So for that one, we always provide the strength of the weld, that is P equals to LWTT into FWD. Now as we will provide the length of weld per mm, so LW is always 1. In order to calculate TT, we need to assume the size of weld, that is always taken between 3 to 6 mm. I am always going to assume the maximum, so assume the size of weld 6 mm. So once we get the S, so throat thickness, that is always taken as 0.7 times S, as we have assumed the thickness of size of weld 6 mm, so TT, that is 0.71 times 6, so ultimately it will be 4.2. And let's talk about FWD, design strength of the weld, that is always taken as 158 for field welding and 189 for soft welding. I am always going to assume the maximum soft welding. Okay, so I am going to take 189 Newton per mm square. So this is the maximum criteria which can I provide. So ultimately let's put down the value. LW, that is 1, TT, that is we can say 4.2, and FWD 189. By simplifying the term, I will get the answer 793.8 Newton per mm. So let's convert it into kilonewton per mm. So we can provide the maximum strength of 0.793 kilonewton per mm, which should be greater than QW, that is 0.249, which is greater than that one. And okay, so provide 6 mm size of fillet weld on both sides of the wave. That's the weld requirement criteria. Lastly, check for deflection. See, deflection has not been asked, though we will provide the deflection. Now we know that our gantry girder is simply supported beam. In case of simply supported beam, always maximum deflection occur at the center. So what we will do, we will put the two wheels of the crane girder exactly at the center of the gantry girder. So these are the two wheels. So let me show you this one in the sketch. So what we are doing, that we are putting down this crane girder exactly at the center of gantry girder. So this one is the center of the gantry girder. Okay, so we are putting the crane girder exactly over center. So we will get to know that if the crane girder is at the center of the gantry girder, then how much deflection is producing. Then we will cross check it with respect to code criteria. Okay, so for that one, so I will put down this one always at the center. Say this one is my center, so these dimensions will be wheelbase by 2. Similarly over here, wheelbase by 2, wheelbase is 3.5 meter, so 3.5 by 2 from over here and 3.5 by 2 from over here. Okay, so it will be, I think, 1.75 meter. and the remaining dimension, that is this one. Say let's keep wheelbase as a C. So the remaining dimension A equals to, we can say, whole dimension is L minus wheelbase divided by 2. So ultimately I will get the value of A. Okay, that is 2.25. So once we get this arrangement, now we need to calculate the deflection requirement criteria for that one. Now just a minute. So for that one, the deflection requirement criteria formula stands for WL cube by 6EI in the bracket 3A divided by 4L minus A cube by L cube. Talking about unknown parameters, first of all W, that is working load. We have already calculated working load in step number 1. That was load on each wheel. That was 183.25 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. So we already have W. Then L, that is span of, we can say, gantry girder. That is 6 meter, so 6000 mm. Not 6, sorry, printing mistake is there. It is 8 meter, so that will be 8000. Okay, not 6000. Then another unknown, that is A. We have already calculated this one, A, L minus C by 2. So 8000 minus 3500. C stands for, we can say, wheelbase. Okay, so 3500 by 2, so ultimately 2250. That's the value of A. E, modulus of elasticity of steel, that is always 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square. And I, that is IZZ, we have already calculated in step number 6. So let's put down all these value in this formula. Okay, so W 183.25 into 10 raised to 3 Newton, L 8000 cube, 6 E, that is 2 into 10 raised to 5, I, that is 451 into 10 raised to 9 in the bracket 3 area, sorry, A, that is 2250 divided by 4L, that is 4 into 8000 minus A cube, that is 2250 cube divided by L cube, that is 8000 cube. By simplifying the term, I will get the data, that is 3.27 mm. What does it indicate? That if we are putting crane girder exactly at the center of the gantry girder, then this deflection is getting produces. So this is our requirement criteria. Now let's see how much code is permitting. Okay, so for that one we will go to the code. Just a minute. IS 800, table number 6, page number 31. On the page number 31, they have given the criteria over here. Just a minute. Yeah. Now over table number 6, deflection limit, then we can say our crane girder is manual. So manual crane girder, so the deflection criteria is span by 500. Okay, so let's go back to the design. So the permissible deflection criteria is span by 500 as per table number 6, page number 31. Span is 8000 by 500, so our answer comes 16 mm. So what does this indicate? That code is permitting this 16 mm as a deflection for the manual crane girder, while our requirement is only 3.27. okay, sorry, once again printing mistake is there. This one is 3.27, which is greater, 16 mm is greater than 3.27, and so okay, deflection criteria is also getting satisfied. Okay guys, so this was the design of manual crane girder over the gantry girder. As I told you earlier also, in this one only 3 changes are there in this manual crane girder. Otherwise it is the same design as we have done already in the previous video of EOT crane girder. See, impact load was taken as 25 in EOT, while it is taken as 10% in the manual. Then second, surge load, which was taken as 10% in the EOT. In the manual we have taken this one as a 5%. Braking force, there is no change in the braking force, it is taken as 5% in both cases. While in case of the deflection, okay, these are the criteria given in the code for the EOT crane girder, while for the manual crane girder it is taken as this one. So there are basically 3 changes: impact load, surge load, and deflection. Okay, so hope so you have got the concept of the design of gantry girder. I have provided the 4 videos of the gantry girder. First, EOT crane girder in the 2 parts. In the first video from step number 1 to 6, and then the remaining video from step number 7 to 12. And again in this one, in manual crane girder also 2 videos are there. In the first video from step number 1 to 6, and in the second video from step number 7 to 12. So hope so you have got all the concept with that one. Okay, hope so you have liked the concept of gantry girder. If you have liked, then please do like and subscribe my channel, and do not forget to share. Till then, myself, Assistant Professor Gaurang Prajapati, signing off.